Yes, we are Baku for another F1 25 My Team episode, and we are here in Azerbaijan. Now guys, the previous episode, the Temple of Speed, Monza, Italian Grand Prix. Go check it out, link in the top right. Again, spoilers as always are going to be ahead, so this is your chance to click off the video now and see what happened. Because last time out, it got really intense around that track.
Hey boss, have you got a moment to look at something?
Now, we've unlocked a new secondary sponsor level on loyalty. We also have a personnel department event, and we have a misjudged comment. It feels like all these events are basically either someone, not really behaving appropriately, or making a bad comment, or doing a dodgy social media post. It feels like there's not enough dynamicism with these events. Either way, we chose to go for the discipline option to keep everything nice and tight in line. Now, I wanted to quickly look at accolades. Now, we recently got the Constructors Points Tier 2, and we're very close to Passive Sponsor Income Tier 3 and Total Workforce Tier 4, which I'm guessing would unlock potentially Phase 4 as well in some areas. Either way, just noting those because they could really help us. Now, you guys in the comments mentioned last episode to look at the cost cap. Now, first off, I mentioned before, we've really burnt through the cash this season, guys. We started out with 35 million and we've got to as low as 15. Now, we have actually improved a little bit for today's episode. You can see we're also making our way towards the limit of the cost cap, and that might actually come into effect this season. So that could be quite interesting to see how that affects things. Now, of course, we're still looking to sign one, if not two, new drivers. We're negotiating with Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly. More on that in just a second. Now, we're going to start out with activities. And for today's episode, we've got quite a gap between Monza and Baku. So we're going to start out with hands-on engineering, reducing costs in that facility by quite a bit. Then we move into engineering itself, and we're going to do a dev focus long to basically reduce costs by 20% across the board. Then in personnel, we're going to go for a few options that I like, but the one that I always seem to fall back on is going to be the driver sim testing, because we get to improve the focus of our drivers and get 250 R&D points. We're going to do a wellness session as well to improve their focus even more, and then we're going to pair that with a tech expo to earn 100 R&D points per day, and finally a fan outreach to basically improve fan rating. So yeah, with that out the way, we have some more updates and pretty interesting ones. Now, we start out with the diffuser side fences. We only now officially have one upgrade left, and we have completed aerodynamic upgrades entirely. We also received the turbo reliability, and we arrive at Carlos Sainz endgame talks. So, I mentioned before, we'll come back to this, and here we are. Now, let's have a look and see what Carlos says. The driver window is open for signing. The market is open. We have finished our talks with Hulkenberg Colapinto, and this is going to conclude our talks with Carlos Sainz. Now, he's actually increased his chance of success by 10%, so it's now at 79% chance of sign. Salary, 25 mil, 2.5 signing bonus is pretty low, which is great. No team performance clause and no penalty clause, and yeah, we don't quite comply with these demands, but he's actually pretty inclined to sign, and I really think we can get this done. So I'm at this point 99% certain Carlos Sainz will be driving for us in Season 3. The word has got out that he had a meeting with us. Also, word got out a couple of weeks ago with Colapinto's meeting. So the paddock knows that we're looking at one or two drivers and potentially switching our entire lineup. Now, we received the improved comms system, and we're going to add advanced tooling to this one to basically reduce the time to develop upgrades by 35%, because all we have left is a handful of upgrades, guys. Literally, we have less than 5 upgrades left to complete our car from being maxed out, and they're all basically ultimate, give or take. So we're going to do that to try and reduce development time. Now, here is the one we've recently researched, suspension geometry. We're going to do a dual development, and that is because it's cheaper. Again, we're trying to manage our finances here. It makes no difference doing a double single development because we're in no rush. It's not going to arrive before Baku, so we'll do a dual development and hopefully get that in time for the next episode. Now, let's talk about research. Now, we're going to go for the engine. We're going to go for the rotors, and this is officially, I believe, going to finish the engine side of things. We do have a few supplier upgrades that are yet to arrive, so there's still potential to be found.
We've heard back on this. Thought you'd want to know.
But that aside, in terms of the upgrades I can make, I think we've only got like one fuel upgrade left. Anyway, misjudged comment. Here is the fallout from that event. We lose morale in aero, but we gain in chassis. And luckily, we are kind of working on chassis right now. As you just saw, we did a dual development, so that actually works out pretty well. And thus we arrive at Pierre Gasly advanced talks. Note, not endgame talks, advanced. I'd love to have another meeting with Pierre, but I'm not sure if we're going to get that before the end of the season. We still have time, but I don't want to panic in case we lose one of our drivers. Anyway, let's have a look. Now Pierre, 76% chance to sign. He does have a team performance clause right now, and that is achieved 2 podium finishes. So that's a bit of an issue because we do get them, but not super frequently. Either way, the word also got out that we are meeting with Pierre, which that might affect things with Carlos Sainz. Anyway, my thought process, I'm likely to offer Carlos a contract in the next episode, and we'll see what we do with the second driver. Anyway, contractor management, we have received that for personnel, and we're actually going to do the very next one. We're going to do level 2 because it basically allows us to do 3 facility improvements, at the same time in the personnel facility itself, and then we only have one more left for the corporate tab. So doing 3 of these at one time could be huge. Now, a sponsor roadmap, level 2, basically it's going to increase our income from secondary sponsors. We're now going to do the sponsor negotiation staff support, or support staff should I say, increasing the cash bonus for completing your title sponsor season goal by 30%. Again, we're trying to increase our cash flow for next season. Now, we're going to hit the X-Forming logo, goal this season, so that will be a nice payout. And I want to do that because next season we've signed a new title sponsor. We're going to sign Carlos Sainz, and we're going to do it next episode, and this is how things are looking. So we have a decision to make. Guys, in a single comment, one word, upvote the one you like the most. Hulkenberg, Colapinto, or Gasly. Who is going to be the partner of Carlos Sainz for Season 3? So yeah, comment below and let me know. Anyway, today we're racing as Franco. We have a dry weather forecast at Baku in the land of fire. The forecast aside, standings also looking pretty much the same as always. Top 10 drivers, top 5 constructors is pretty locked in. We're going to quickly freshen up some components real quick on Colapinto's car. The ICE was pretty knackered. The Energy UK is not terrible, but I will change it because we have 2 spare units left and we only have like a handful of races to go. Elsewhere, we're also going to freshen up the turbocharger and actually backdate it to the original unit, which is 7% fresher. And then we should be able to do the rest of the season on the last unit, and that should get the job done. So yeah, with that out of the way, we also went ahead and did our car setup as always, and we're now going to delve into practice and get these programs started. So let's begin. Track acclimatization is the first one on the menu here today, and this one, a couple of green gates, but no dramas. Baku, pretty straightforward. Not a track that I love, but we have to do. On our tyre management, we actually were down. We were up by quite a bit, and then I got stuck behind Bortoletto throughout the middle sector. And we kind of stayed behind because I was able to use him as a slipstream up to the line to get the purple score on the tyre wear. Then we had traffic, like with Bortoletto, this time with Crawford on our race simulations. But this time, I don't have as much margin on my Delta, so I have to push as we almost get pushed into the barrier by Crawford. We just squeeze through and we pass him around the outside, and we are going to eventually then finish our programs. We're just going to do the 3 laps because we don't need 5 for this one. It's a pretty straightforward circuit. I have good data for this one and feel pretty comfortable and confident with the data we have. So yeah, track acclimatization done, tyre management done, and then in race data we have excellent tyre wear. 0.87 is really good for strategy, and fuel burn 45.5 kg. We've got a faster each lap. And yeah, tyres looked pretty good. Hulkenberg finishes 5th. Very, very interesting. Hulkenberg P5, albeit on soft tyres, still very encouraging to see the upgrades are working well. We finish in P11, and we do rack up the maximum possible 675 R&D points. So yeah, good session, good stuff all round. And we're going to move to qualifying and see what our true pace really is here.
It is a truly unique layout. Welcome to Baku and welcome to qualifying.
Right, let's get to it then. We begin with Q1, as always. Soft compound tyres on our machine, and we're currently making our way to Sector 2, but we have a bit of a lock-up into the hairpin. That was so close to the barrier. We somehow kept it out. We then pushed on with the rest of our lap, and we're going to cross the line with a 1:37.3 and go P5, only 2/10 behind Hulkenberg. Eventually we did get shuffled down to P11, and we're currently about half a tenth down as we arrive at the same point as last time, but this time we don't run deep. We still lock up a little bit, but we find 6/10 of a second, and then we find a little bit more extra time through the castle. Now, we ended up pushing on with this lap. This should hopefully get the job done. You can see we lose a little bit on the exit of the castle section, and we did go purple in the middle. I burnt a bit more battery in this lap, so I was a bit more marginal, but you can see we're still up by just under 6/10 as we cross the line to a 1:36.7 P5, and that will do just fine. So we finished Q1 in P7, Hulkenberg P8, side by side, neck and neck. You'd love to see it. Antonelli's setting the pace as well, pretty interestingly. And then into Q2, I accidentally gave Verstappen a bit of a slipstream here. Now, I timed the start of my lap a bit wrong, and I wasn't going to, slow down and move over after the last corner because you lose momentum down the main straight. So I just had to kind of accept it. Verstappen went purple and got a free pull from that, but we had to start our lap, and yeah, not exactly ideal. Anyway, we're going to focus on our lap now. Turn 1, turn 2, not terrible. Luckily, Verstappen backed out, so he wasn't a distraction. Now down towards turn 3, I completely missed my braking point, and we somehow, again, keep it out the wall. I don't know how, but we definitely left some time on the table there because we overdid it. Anyway, we're going to continue on with our lap. We had a bit of an oversteer moment out of the castle as we now head towards this left-hander over the curb. Bit of a brush with the wall as the car gets a bit loose. Purple middle sector again, and we're now going to head to the line, and it's a 1:35.9. We did a 1:36.7, I believe, in Q1, so we find 8/10 even with that mistake at turn 3. Now we're going to push again. As you guys know, same run plan as always, so we do a time lap, a cool down, and a second push lap. But I've actually lost a 10th or so in the first 2 corners. I'm not exactly sure how I've lost it because it looked pretty good and it felt pretty good. Anyway, this is where the time loss was. We're going to brake this time at the 100 a bit earlier, down to 3rd gear. We just avoid the inside barrier, but look at that, we gain all that time back. But because we were almost 2/10 down on entry, we don't actually gain much net per se, and I actually lost a bit more time through turn 4, so the chicane wasn't any quicker. So now we're going to hit some traffic, which isn't ideal. Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. We're still fighting here. We're losing a bit of time. Again, just over a 10th off our PB. Through the castle we go, trying to thread the car through these curbs, and we're now going to focus on our exit. We do have a brilliant exit, but we invalidate, and we was on course there to go up on our time. So already potentially an early indication that we're sort of hitting our peak for pace in the 1:35s. We're P6 right now. Hulkenberg is P11, just outside the top 10. We have over a second cushion over Hulkenberg, so I think we're safe. But does Hulkenberg make it? Yes, he does. And Norris is the one big name out in Q2. Hulkenberg ended up improving by half a second, and that's P10, which you love to see. So the upgrades are working well. Hulkenberg, again, in Q3 for the second time in a row as an AI driver. Of course, last time it was at Zandvoort, and he did it as well. Anyway, into Q3, we're going to get 2 shots here, 2 laps, and this is the first one. Now, Baku's a tough circuit. A circuit where you want to basically really approach it under the same concept. Slow in, fast out. So you kind of sacrifice your corner entry a bit and just make sure you get that exit and that drive, because like here, you've got this huge straight out of turn 2. Again, brake at the 100. Sacrifice a little bit. Just try and get the power down out of there as soon as possible. A little dab of the battery. Turn 4, flick it in, open it up, back on the battery again. We cross the first split, and we're on a 33.9. We match Hamilton in P6, and we know the middle sector is strong. Down towards the hairpin, Third gear, we don't lock up. I do run a little bit deep. I could want to cut that a bit more, but that was actually pretty good. Through the castle we go. Full commitment in fourth gear. All the way through here, just brushing, flirting with the barriers. Bit of oversteer on the way out as we now race towards the next left-hander. This has been a really good lap, by the way. On the anchors, down to fourth gear. Bash over the curb. Wow, big snapper oversteer as we cross the split. We're still purple, 7/10 up on Hamilton, but how much did that snap of oversteer cost me? Now, racing to the finish. We are running out of battery a bit prematurely, so I'm going to run some hot lap to basically not lose too much time. We'll do a little last minute burn up to the line and use the last bit in the reserves. Over the line we go, and it's a 1:35.6, so we go 2/10 quicker than our Q2 lap, and that's with the mistake. We still have the best middle sector. Hulkenberg is P9, Leclerc is cooking, but right now P4 is possible. We need 2/10, and that snapper oversteer plus potentially the hairpin before the castle, I think it's possible, but it depends how much the others improve. Anyway, let's give it a shot. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. We was cooking on that one and we were just going to arrive at the left-hander where we made that mistake last time. Now, to be fair, Tsunoda did improve a little bit. We would have easily got Piastri, so it should have been P6 today in Q3. And I think if we nail that left-hander, we maybe have a shot at P5 and getting Tsunoda. Either way, both cars in Q3 again. Hulkenberg, by the way, goes half a second quicker than Q2, so he was really quick, and that's great to see. So today, we've got a shot, yet again, at double points here in Baku.
A warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku, and home, of course, of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners, and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today. So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully out of the barriers. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequence for any one of our drivers. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Antonelli, Yuki Tsunoda, and Piastri, Colapinto, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, and Alex Albon, Lawson, Ocon, Lando Norris, and Gasly, Stroll, Crawford, Jack Doohan, Pepe Marti, Hadjar, Bortoletto, Aaron, and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, you know, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Right, main event time at Baku. P7 on the grid. Now, in qualifying, I feel like P5 was possible. I would love it if that pace would translate into race pace. The strategy is interesting. Now, the game is saying we go for the hard tyre start, which is interesting to say the least. Now, hard, medium, one-stop reverse. I don't hate it, to be honest. I just doubt that AI are going to do the same thing. But I like it. I think it could work pretty well. I'm down for a gamble. Historically, if you start hards, go very long around here, you can have a very strong second stint and be like 2-3 seconds of that faster on a fresh soft on medium at the end. So I'm going to be inclined to go with this and give it a shot. For the fuel, we're running what the race sim said, 45.5. I've just put a 0.1 extra just to be safe. But yeah, no rain forecast, so let's get straight to it and let's light up this racetrack. Interestingly, everyone has actually gone for the hards, so we're all going to be in the same boat, which I like. Makes it quite interesting. Also, this huge straight allows us to get the tyre temp to make this work. So rear tyres are going to be critical here. We've got to try and not fry them. But let's get to it. I'm going to actually start in none. I think that could work pretty well on this tyre. We'll see if I'm right. Right, let's get this work. It's showtime. Lights on. And we're off. Good start. Nowhere to go though. We're going to have to just wait. Around the outside of turn 1, we'll try and pick up Piastri. Piastri does not re-challenge into turn 2, surprisingly, so I will gladly go through. Now, based off qualifying, I think my wings are a bit high. I think we're a bit slow on the straight. We're going to find out once we've gone to the main straight next time around. But either way, if it means we're better in corners and we can, you know, maybe manage our tyres a bit better and do also better in dirty air, might be a compromise worth taking out. I might go down on my wing by 1 click at the stop if I feel like I need a bit more, but at the minute this feels pretty encouraging. Good tyre temp, allowing us to have a good start and actually be competitive. So let's see. At the minute we're all over the back of Tsunoda here, so you never know. You never know. Let's see if we're still on the back come the start finish straight. At the minute we are right there with a full charge to drop, and we're also opening up a gap to Piastri here. Something's in my eye which I hope does not get in my way at wrong time. Try and keep blinking to a minimum just for the time being. This is the crucial corner. I can never quite get that right. Even in league racing I struggle there, but we're going to dump our battery now and see if we can challenge. Here we go. Wow, we're not making a scratch. We were pulling away from Piastri, but Tsunoda's pulling away.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
And that's why he's actually challenging Antonelli, so he's going for it. Surprisingly, Antonelli's on mediums, and he's being pressed by Tsunoda on hards. Someone's going to get a bad exit here. It's going to be Tsunoda. Antonelli does not have DRS here. Oh, where is he going? I couldn't tell for a second. I was going to go to the inside, then he moved over. I went to the outside and he moved again, so we'll have to just hang back. We'll charge up through the middle sector as Antonelli has a big old snap of oversteer. What I want here is for Tsunoda to try and get away and break DRS. That would help. But maybe Kimi's struggling. Oh my god, they're closing the wall. They're closing the wall. I don't know if he got damage or not. I literally just took my eye off for a second, and in the shadow I saw a Ferrari. I think he's okay. If he had damage, I think he'd be struggling more through the castle, but that's allowed Tsunoda through. So Leclerc with the lock-up and a mistake. Suddenly now Antonelli can smell blood. Got to try and stay close if possible. Piastri's pretty close. He might challenge me here. We know that AI have better straight line speed, so gonna have to use a decent bit of battery here just to keep afloat. I think Leclerc's got away with that one somehow. Don't ask me how. We'll watch a replay. He's actually going back through on Tsunoda, so that's an insane recovery. Piastri was challenging there. Didn't think he'd commit, and he didn't, luckily, but there's battles everywhere right now. Piastri down the inside. I'm going to just chop him off there. We have lost the DRS on Antonelli, though, which is an issue. We're going to need a big middle sector to catch back up here, so I'm going to try and lock in for a bit. The middle sector is delivering again, just like in qualifying. We've caught Antonelli, or closed in at least, and we've actually put Piastri on a gap. I think he'll probably get back into range because I can't buy an exit out of there. You never know, we might be able to keep him out. Detection point coming up right now. I think we actually have kept him out. I don't know if Antonelli's got a DRS. No, he doesn't. So we've done well here, really well. Russell goes purple. We're only half a second off. Let's see if we can try and prepare a move here on Kimi. We've used a decent bit of batteries. We're going to try and get some charge. Little brush of the wall. Piastri has managed to stay a little bit closer on this one, but we actually get a decent exit for the first time. And we're now going to just try and use some of our battery here to stay close, and we are going to get a shot at getting past Kimi Antonelli here. I can't do it without DRS, that's for sure, but here we go. Got the run, got to try and pass on the outside. Let go of the brake a little bit, let the car just roll, and there we go, we're through. Now we need a good exit here, and then if we can have a strong middle sector.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Ideally, we try and challenge Tsunoda. Here comes Kimi again. Got close, but didn't commit, so we've got that move done. Let's see if we can try and close in on Yuki here. Ooh, first warning. A little bit too much of a corner cut through there, but we'll take it. We've already put Kimi on a gap. Oh, a bit of oversteer. I don't think we're going to get it. That Red Bull's bloody quick on a straight. Still though, we've got a huge gap over Kimi, which is great. I think we can get Yuki here. We can probably chip away and try and close in. Pace is excellent. Really good pace today. Oh, they're battling behind. This is good. That's going to cost them some huge time. Oh, wall tap there on the left front. I've got to be careful. Could barely see because of the shadow. Right, lost time on that one. So not as much progress. I think we are slower than the top four. So on paper right now, we're trying to get P5. That's going to be the objective. Oh, that was dangerous. Another wall tap. That was a bit more of a clunk. Well, looks okay for now. Leclerc now battling with Russell. It's going to be Leclerc v Verstappen today. That's for certain. Hopefully, top three battle, lose some time. They're not too far away. Gap to Russell now down to 3.8. To be fair, we are nearing the pit window, and actually Russell pits. There we go.
The track is clear, green flag.
Verstappen's in also. So did Max start on mediums? Interesting. Okay, so we've moved to P3. We've got a yellow Ferrari. I think Hamilton's out. Not sure if it's a pit lane entry incident, or he's actually retired, or had a puncture, or no, he's out. Wow. Just before the pit lane. Safety car? Looks like we're not going to get one. Lewis was behind, but yeah, right now we're doing pretty well. The gaps were consistent. We're identical pace to Piastri. Tsunoda's a touch quicker, like a 10th per lap. But Verstappen and Russell actually were on mediums. Interesting. So Leclerc's probably the quickest guy on track on merit. Well, there's Verstappen going purple. This is now our in lap. So we're going to see what strategy wins out come the end of the race. Right. Any other race I would extend because
Don't forget, box this lap.
I'm actually quicker, and I'm catching Tsunoda. I'm quicker on the worn tyres. But because Hulkenberg is actually on for points today, I don't want to hamper his race. He's likely going to box next lap. So we're going to stick to the plan. We're actually going to get a chance to undercut Tsunoda here, so that's also huge. So let's see. Leclerc is looking good to win this, I think. But we're going to try and fight for as much as possible. I want to say potentially up to a podium could be possible. It depends how quickly we catch Russell in the Merc. But we're racing Tsunoda, simple as that. We can try and get P5, maybe P4. Good stop, 2.5, no dramas. We're going to rejoin.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Right ahead of Hulk. Clean air. Absolutely perfect. And now Hulk will box on this lap. Right, this is an undercut to try and get Yuki. Let's see if this pays off or not. This is going to be critical. It should be. Baku always has a huge undercut because of the rear tyre wet. Right, let's see. No purple middle sector. I'm not driving like mad. I'm trusting that we still have a decent differential. Tsunoda is in. Ideally within a second, so we get DRS for the straight down towards turn 3. Norris is in, so we'll recoup our P5. Here we go. This will be close. There he is.
Nico's coming in for his stop now.
Just out of DRS range. That's a shame. I'll use my battery now that I didn't burn too much of on my out lap to try and see if I can close in on this on. Hopefully Hulkenberg can still bag some points, but we're going to need a big lap here to try and get DRS on Yuki. And the two of us can try and chase after Russell on the hard compound tyre.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
At the minute, fresh tyres. Yuki's absolutely kidding me here. But this is my strong part of the lap. We'll see if we can try and close in through the castle. Full commitment. Up the hill. We're not gaining that much though. 1.3. We're catching Russell though by quite a fair bit. If we can just stay close, inevitably Tsunoda will arrive onto the back of George and they'll battle. We can probably close in then. This will be close. But that corner always does me in every time. Look at that. Can never get it right. Right, I'm just going to do my own race. Just going to do my own pace, my own battery management. Like in the first thing, it was working really well. And we'll see if it comes good at the end of the race. Oh, that was risky. Big send. But I think it's going to pay off. We'll use everything here to make sure we get DRS on the pit straight. Alright, I think we've done enough. We can now just sit behind Yuki and get a full charge. And potentially try and challenge George. The hard tyre is king around here though. I think I can pass him and pull away here. Not going to burn too much. We'll trust I can probably get this done in hot lap mode, which I don't usually use, but I want to try and see if I can keep some battery back. That Red Bull is so quick though, on the straight. Verstappen's in. Oh my god. Tsunoda with the squeeze and the defensive move. We're going to try and push and go through, and there it is. Suddenly, we're on a podium. We are on the podium. Could we? Verstappen, 7 seconds adrift. Here comes Yuki. We'll defend the inside. Oh, this is tight. Good racing though. Good racecraft, but we hang on. I want to try and see if I can drop him through this middle sector, which is where, as you guys know, we are strongest. So if we're going to do it, it's got to be now. Tyres are still fresh. We could try and make chase to George, but P3 will do just fine. Don't want to waste time battling because Verstappen is now behind on fresh tyres. He'll be very quick. Oh, that was nice. That was beautiful. This is the one. That wasn't too bad. We actually had a better run through there than Yuki, and we've managed to drop him. Huge. Absolutely huge. Right, 6 qualifying laps to go. Got to lock in now, no mistakes, and we could get a podium. Come on. Oh, second warning, I'll take it. Tsunoda's pushing again. Trying to get back in, so I'm having to push them more. We're actually catching Russell here. But Verstappen is absolutely flying. We're just keeping Tsunoda on the 1 second tightrope. Oh, I think he's just going to get in. I used everything. I think he got it. He's back in DRS range. Might not be the worst thing in the world to keep Verstappen behind though. Okay, this could get interesting. I don't have a lot of battery and both Red Bulls are going to have the run. I'm going to have to defend, but I don't think I've got enough battery. This could be an issue. One goes through. I want to try and fight and hold on. Tsunoda quite lenient there. Into turn 2. Down the inside he goes. Has a terrible exit. I'm not out of the woods yet though. Braking super late. Oh, just about keeping out the barrier. Under big pressure now. Both Red Bulls making it hard. I was catching Russell, but that's done now. We've got to try and fight for this podium. Right, it's going to be a carbon copy from the last lap. Again, we're going to have to try and hold on. I think I've got a little bit more battery, but not a lot. Now we're going to hop on. As soon as we reach the DRS line, that's my cue. Tsunoda switches to the inside. I'm going to try and fight this one around the outside. I'm not giving it up. Without a fight. The barrier's right there. We're going to push and squeeze. We'll have DRS for this next straight. Issue is I can't match the acceleration, but do we have enough of a straight to re-challenge Yuki here? Oh, that's tight. That's going to close. That gap's going to close. I'll try and hold on. I'll try to hold on. Maybe we can get back through with DRS in the pit straight. This is going to be super intense. I need to focus. I was pretty good through there. Let's see. I can't charge any more than 60%. It's impossible. We hit the harvest limit. So what I've got is what I've got. Verstappen's got a bloody good shot at getting both of us here. There's nothing I can do right now. It's a bit out of my hands just because of a lack of straight iron speed and horsepower. We're going to just tuck into the slipstream and hope we can do something. Our best bet is that the Red Bulls battle, but Tsunoda's actually getting a gap here. I'm going to try and see if these two battle down towards turn 3. It's legit my only hope now. Oh, I'm struggling on tyres though. That's why I wanted to go long, but I didn't want to hamper Hulkenberg's race, so hopefully he gets points. But these two are not battling though. Might have waved the podium goodbye there. There's a lapped car that's going to get in the mix here. Oh my god, Verstappen with a massive, massive wobble there through the castle. And he's on the freshest tyres. It's actually a V-carb. So, not sure if there's going to be some team games within the Red Bull family, but I just got to try and be close as possible to Max, really. Leclerc wins. Oh my god, are we going to get this V-carb in time? Yes, we do. I just don't think I've got enough battery. Unless these two run out, I can't do nothing. It's out of my hands. Using everything. Verstappen's flashing. Tsunoda's going to hold on.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
What a performance! He's left the field behind. Charles Leclerc wins it.
And that's 2 wins in a row now, of course. And it marks the fact that it's not a fluke. So, you know, their head's in the right space. What more can we see going forwards?
It was a tough tussle on the racetrack. It is now time for the celebrations. And there can only be one on the top step. Today, his name is Charles Leclerc.
Right, job done then in Baku. P5, Colapinto, P9, Hulkenberg, double points. Hulkenberg, best of the rest. You love to see it. And fended off both the Williams of Lawson and Albon at the end. So really great drive from Hulkenberg as well. Great to see the upgrades are working well. And yeah, that close, a hairline from getting a podium today. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And that's a little bit gutting, it really is. But I'll say one thing. Leclerc is absolutely cooking. I think it's a bit too late in the season, but he could be a late challenge to Verstappen's championship. He's been super dominant. He was so fast in Monza. He's been so fast today. There's still, I believe, 2 or 3 sprint rounds to go as well. So maybe there could be a late challenge for the World Championship. But yeah, for us, it's a good day in the office. Colapinto gains a fair few points. Hulkenberg on the brink of 100. And to be fair, the target has to be Oscar Piastri. We have to try and beat Oscar with Nico. It's not out of the question. And if a few upgrades go our way, you never know. As far as Hamilton, maybe, could potentially happen. You never know. In the Constructors, P5, though, that's looking pretty good. Mercedes, McLaren are there or thereabouts. McLaren are going to be the nearest rivals. They are starting to struggle a little bit. And yeah, a couple of big results would go a long way. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe for more. As always, a big shout out to the channel members. Check out the 2 videos on screen for more. And yeah, guys, I'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao.